Sri Krishna, Sri Krishna, Sri Krishna, Sri Krishna. Guru Brahma, Guru Vishnu, Guru Devo Maheshwara, Guru Sakshat Param Brahma, Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha, Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. As the waves appear on the ocean, and as the ocean appears on the water, in the same manner, the Panchakoshas appear on the Satchidananda absolute reality. Now, are the waves anything other than the ocean? And yet we name them. Is the ocean anything other than the water? Yet we call it as the ocean. And then we create further complication. Ocean becomes the cause of the waves and waves become the effect. And in this manner, we get lost and caught up in cause and effect. This is how the samsara begins. What is the samsara? Samsara is a matrix of cause and effect which is itself an illusion. Bhagavan Shankaracharya writes in his Dakshinamurti Stotra, Vishwam pashyati karya karanataya swaswami sambandhatah Shishyacharya tathaiva pitruputrajatmana bhedatah Swapne jagrati maya eja purushaha Maya paribhramitah Tasmai Sri Guru Murtaye Namaidam Sri Dakshinamurtaye. Vishwam pashyati. The world comes into existence karya karanataya. The moment cause and effect is considered as valid, the world begins. Like, we look at the flower and stop there, the world doesn't begin. But after we look at the flower and then we start projecting on the flower. If I am a love bird, then I will imagine if I take this flower, pluck from here and give it to my beloved, how nice it will be. And I take this flower to my beloved, hoping that she will be very happy. But she scolds me because she is a nature worker. So all my imagination of that romantic love goes into dogs, and look here, I got out of love such a beautiful flower, and you tell you should not destroy the vegetation. Samsara begins. Another person looks at the flower and he thinks that let me take this flower to the Lord and offer him. See? If we had stopped there itself, no samsara begins. Therefore, karya karanataya, when we get caught up in cause and effect, then the next step, swaswami sambandhatah, then we create the governor and the governed. Swami is the governor and governed is the servant. Then second samsara is. Third samsara, Shishyacharya, Guru and Shishya, another samsara. Tulsidaji says in Ramcharitmanas and also in Yoga Vasishtha and also in Bhagavad Mahapuran, it is said, in Kali Yuga, the Guru will be snatching away the purse and not the ignorance. They will loot away the money from the disciples, but they will maintain his ignorance. Shishyacharyataya, then tathaiva pitruputradyatmana vedataha. And then the next samsara begins, the son and the father. And where it is going on? Swapne jagrati vaya esha purusha. And this is same whether it is a dream or it is a waking. There is no difference whatsoever. And who is the cause behind it? Maya paribhramita. So this Paramatma, which is Satyam Jnanam Anantam Brahma, and Satyam because cannot be denied in any period of time. There is Jnanam because self-effulgent, self-established, self-asserted. And Ananta, there is no limitation of time, space and object. Because of these three, the Brahman, the reality is declared as Satyam Jnanam Anantam. And this is our experience now. See? Suppose somebody describes you about me. Have you seen that Swamiji, he has a long beard and he is always playing with the beard? So yes, I have seen. So these words will bring you to an image of my face in the same manner. When it is said, Satyam Jnanam Anantam Brahma, now this word Satyam, that it is never denied in 3 periods of time. Now find out where is this Brahman. We will definitely come back to our own being because we have never experienced our absence. So what is called in the scriptures as Brahman is none other than our own presence. Then Jnanam. Jnanam is self-effulgence, self-assertion. Do we require anybody's certificate to prove that I exist? See? Even anybody tells me that I don't exist, I will not accept it. You care, who cares? I know I exist. What is the proof? No proof is required. See? You are a doctorate. What is the proof? This is the proof, certificate. Oh, then you are doctor. But I am. No proof is required. So Satyam Jnanam is referring to Brahman in the scriptures and our own being in the experience. Satyam Jnanam Anantam, that which is not conditioned by time, space and object. But we feel we are conditioned by time, space and object because we mistake ourselves to be the gross body. Therefore we have a date of birth and also a date of death. From this time to this time, so and so. Like in our AMA, there is a in that board meeting room, there is a big board. Who was the president from what time to what time? Date of birth, date of death. After that, he is no more president. In the same manner, we are born. Who is born? The body is born, not we. And the body dies. And we have mistaken ourselves to be the body. And therefore, I am conditioned by time. Then I am conditioned by space, a particular shape, which is occupying the space. And the object, this body alone, I am not any other body. In this manner, this Deshakala Vastu, time, space and object, these limitations are with reference to the body which we are not. But what is the problem is this, that we mistake ourselves to be a body and thereafter the whole samsara begins. See? And this is how one has to reflect again and again. The spiritual practice means Spiritual practice means freedom from body identification, number one. See? The second, if I am not the body, then who am I? Then the embodied. The embodied is referred as jiva or the soul. Now again go on contemplating. Don't be satisfied like the yogis or karmakandis or devotees. No. Then find out what do you mean by jiva. Then we come to know that jiva is not one per head. Bhagavan Sri Krishna very clearly tells in Bhagavad Gita, Kshetrajnam chapi mam vidhi sarva kshetreshu bharata. I am the one in and through all the total creation. So where are many jivas? See friends, the jiva bhava we have to reject. We cannot be the soul. See? And in this manner, when we come to discover that what is said, Satyam Jnanam Anantam Brahma, it is none other than our own being. This is what Upanishad says, Satyam Jnanam Anantam Brahma, Yo Veda, he who comes to recognize. Yo Veda Nihitam Guhayam. He is the very substratum of these Panchakoshas, what we have studied in this chapter. Nihitam Guhayam. Parame Vyomanna, in the supreme space. Which is the supreme space? Be very attentive. Our experience has three components. Experience object, experience of the object, and experiencer of the experienced object. With reference to the experience object, the space is a gross space. In this gross space, the gross bhutas are there. Then, the experience of the object, experience always takes place through thoughts. So, where are the thoughts? The thoughts are in the mental space called as Chitta-akasha. So, one is the Bhuta-akasha, second is the Chitta-akasha, where all the thoughts and experiences of the objective world take place. And the third is the Chidakasha, where the experiencer is experiencing the object of experiences. Now this third space is Chidakasha, and in this Chidakasha, with reference to the gross body, Mr. Waker is born. With reference to the subtle body, Mr. Dreamer is born. With reference to the causal body, the Pragya, the deep sleeper is born. See? Parame Vyomanna. And in fact, in this absolute conscious space, which is a solid space, solid and space, how it is possible? Space because it gives accommodation to everything. Solid because other than this there is nothing. So we will have to say that ocean is a solid space for all the waves. Waves are not injected in the ocean. In the same manner, this Paramatma Tattva is our own essential nature. Then the question comes, then where from the Jeev Jagat Ishvara it has come? So we are told, Maya Paribhramitaha. See, Maya means what? That experience which is gathered through the sense organs and mind, that experience is the Maya Karya. See? Then cause and effect will become redundant. Colors and forms are seen because of the eyes. Eyes are functional because of the colors and forms. Therefore, who is because of who? Colors and forms are because of the eyes, or eyes are valid because of the colors and forms? Wherever there is a mutual dependence, it is an illusion. It is not reality. Like husband and wife. The wife is because of the husband and the husband is because of the wife, but both of them are independent of husband and wife. When they were not married, they were still there. So who is husband and who is wife? An illusion. When this illusion we take real, we suffer in life. Therefore, take the husband as illusory figure and don't be serious about it. So when the husband says something, "Arey illusion क्यों चक्कर में पड़े हो?" Delete. It's not a reality. See, Maya paribhramita. Now we'll go one step further. Here the teacher says, Deshakalanya vastunam kalpitatvacha mayaya na deshadi krutontosti brahmanandya sputam tataha. So this time, space and object, these are the maya kalpitatva. They are only projection by the mind. Majnu was after Layla. And the father of Layla told ultimately, "Dear Majnu, you are so handsome, so healthy, so nice. Why are you running after my daughter Layla? She is so ugly. There is not one parameter of beauty that can be established in her. Why are you running and becoming mad after her?" Immediately, Majnu Uvacha, Majnu said, "To see the beauty of Layla, you require the eyes of Majnu." So where is this? Kalpitatva, not real. See, friends, therefore, all this time, space and object, this is all the projection of the mind. When the mind is enfolded, where are we? When are we? And what are we? 3. Deshakala vastu. When the mind is enfolded in deep sleep, first, Desha, where are we? In Ahmedabad or Baroda or India or America, where are we? When are we? 2011 or 1947 or 2012, 21st December? When? The third thing, what are we? Man, woman, young, old, rich, poor, what are we? So, Desha, Kala, Vastu, these are only the projections of the mind. And when these things are not there yet, we do not experience our absence. This eternal presence, when it is recognized, then the time, space and object will have no meaning for us. It is something like a person goes to the jeweler and gives his wedding ring. And she keep this and give me some 2,000 rupees. I am trying to return it. I am in a very bad shape. So the jeweler takes it and rubs on shaligram. You know, the stone which is used by the jewelers is shaligram. Shaligram is Lord Vishnu and gold is Lakshmi. It is only on the shaligram that the gold can draw a line. On a inorganic stone, it cannot draw a line. So, when he takes gold ring, wedding ring, and wants to rub it, immediately this man holds, "Oh God, don't do that. Why? It's my wedding ring. And you are rubbing it against the stone?" He said, "Look here, wedding ring aspect you take away. I am looking at the gold." Desha, Kala, Vastu, these are only projections of the mind. And when we give this projection the status of reality and validity, then only the samsara begins. Therefore, देशकालान्यवस्तूनां कल्पितत्वाच्च मायया अतः न देशादि कृतोऽन्तोऽस्ति ब्रह्मानन्तं स्फुटं ततः. If they are imagination, they are not real. Therefore, man is infinite and the husband is finite. See, husband is born on the auspicious day of the marriage. And thereafter, when she goes away whichever way, then where the husband goes. The husband is not the real. Work on this, friends, very sincerely. Whenever you become aware of this, that whenever we are miserable, we are one of these illusions. We are miserable as husband, wife, brother, father, in-law, outlaw. We are never miserable as a person. Yesterday one girl was asking, normally my mother-in-law is like that. So I told her, mother-in-law is a species which can never be good. So you are trying to say that I want Karela but it should not be Kadwa. It has to be, that is why it is called Karela. Similarly, mother-in-law is a legal mother. She will always pull you in the court. See? Then what is to be done? Take her lightly. Don't become serious with her. I don't know how people become serious with mother-in-law. Are serious hona hi to bhagwan. So we all become miserable not because what we are, but what we imagine we are. And the imagination is projection by the mind. So, Brahmanantyam sputam tataha. After this, a doubt is raised that if the Brahman is beyond the time, space and object, then where from the Jiva, Ishvara, Jagat has come? If Brahman alone is, if Paramatma alone is, if water alone is, where from the ocean, the waves, the iceberg, the clouds, the dewdrops, the moisture, where from they have come? So when we call ocean and wave, what we are doing is we are only uttering the words which mean only water. So when we are playing with the waves, we are playing with the waters, and when we jump into the sea, we are jumping into the water. So the same water is called differently by two names. Therefore, Vacharammadam Vikaro Namadheyam Mritika Eva Satyam. Therefore, they are only words. If you remove the water from the ocean, ocean cannot exist. Once I gave example, what is given in Chandogya Upanishad, the mantra which I said, Vacharammadam Vikaro Namadheyam Mritika Eva Satyam. When this example was given, there was one person, elderly person, Dampo type, coming and sitting very smooth. And not a very big group, small group, about 20-25 people, and I was talking. When you remove the mud from the mud pot, what remains? Water. So he said, a clean pot. I said, Ram, Ram, Ram. Because what he understood, from the mud pot, if you remove the mud remains. So that person is a mud-headed. See? So when the water is removed from the ocean, the water cannot exist. In the same manner, the water is removed from the waves, wave cannot exist. So what we are doing? We are touching the waters, but we are calling it by a different name. In the same manner, we are touching the world and calling by different names, but in reality, Ishavasyavidam Sarvam Yat Kincha Jagatyam Jagat. Therefore, when you are touching the Shivalinga, you are touching Paramatma directly. Many people give a wrong example that Shivalinga is like the tricolor for India. No, it is not. Shivalinga is not like a tricolor. tricolor was born and it may change colors, who knows? See, Shivalinga is nothing but Paramatma, because Paramatma or the Brahman is simultaneously material and efficient cause of this world. So when we are touching the stone, we are touching Paramatma directly. But when we are touching the tricolor, we are not touching in India. See, friends. And therefore, one has to be very clear about this, that it is only because of the Upadhi that one is called in many ways. Therefore, Satyam Jnanam Anantam Yat Brahma Tad Vastu Tasya Tad Ishvaratvam Cha Jivatvam Upadhi Dvaya Kalpitam. So this Satchidananda Satyam Jnanam Anantam Brahma is appearing in two ways, Ishvara and Jiva, because of the conditioning. See, water is appearing as ocean because of the conditioning of totality. And the same water is appearing as wave because of the conditioning of the individuality. Then totality becomes the cause, individuality becomes the effect. And we get lost only in this and we forget the water. See? And then we ask a question. Is there water deep in this ocean? So the water is in the ocean or the ocean is in the water? See the difference? In the same manner, we think we are inside the body. The truth is, body is in me. See, when we take the phone, we get the sound from inside. So are the sound waves inside the phone or the phone is in the sound waves? When the phone is not in the particular sound wave coverage, you get a message that you cannot talk to that person because it is out of coverage. But our understanding is sound waves are inside and not outside. The truth is, the phone is in the sound waves. From inside, those sound waves are manifested. In the same manner, we are Paramatma, and in us, not only this body, but all the bodies. Will the space become burdened if few more things are added? Will the space become lonely if the things are removed from it? If you add more fish in a water tank, will it be a load for the water? If you remove all the fish from the water, will it be a loss for the water? Think. If there are more waves on the ocean, is the ocean rich? And if the waves have completely died away, Nistaranga Samudravan, then is the ocean poor? In the same manner, when there is a waking and a dream experience, is something added to me, the infinite? Or when everything is taken away, as in the deep sleep and samadhi, is there any loss to me? So this eternal principle, which cannot be improved upon by the waking and the dream experiences, and which doesn't suffer any loss in the deep sleep and the samadhi, that is our essential nature. But instead of focusing attention on this substratum, we have trained ourselves to be only at the surface level. And what is the surface level? Cause and effect. Get out of this clutch of cause and effect. It's an illusion. There is no cause, there is no effect. See? But we get so much caught up in this. So the teacher says, Ishvaratva Jivatva Upadhi Dvaya Kalpitam. But when we add Upadhi, so when you have added Upadhi on the man, and Upadhi is that of the wife, so he has become husband. Now, if he has become husband, then he is the cause for the misery of the wife. So, when he was not the husband, both of them were happy. This is how it happens many places. They separate and then they stay as friends. So what has happened? Earlier it was a legal cause and effect. Now cause and effect is deleted, they stay together, no problem. See friends. So upadhi dvaya kalpitam. So what are the upadhis? Upadhi of the Ishvara is Maya. Now be very attentive. Ishvara is considered to be the cause of both the world and the Jiva. Jiva and Jagat, they are created by Ishvara. He is the cause, the creator. Prajapati, Brahmaji, Hiranyagarbha, whatever. Now let us try to understand. It's a very subtle point. Water has its own potentiality, what is called as Maya. Maya is the Shakti, it is the potentiality. Like fire has its potentiality called as the burning power. Now the fire can burn everything else except itself. And the burning power of the fire cannot influence the fire. Like the sugar cane never suffers from diabetes. Because sweetness is the very essence of sugar cane. Point number one. Point number two. Similarly, the water has the potentiality to make the water appear as a totality called as ocean. So water plus his potentiality together is called as ocean. Now when the ocean is there, so in that ocean, will the water drown? Water which is at the surface is very happy. Water at the depth of the ocean. Oh God, I am carrying such a huge load on me. No. Water can never suffer the drowning experience in the ocean. Third, on the same water, because of the same potentiality, another things are superimposed called as names and forms called as the waves. And therefore, when the waves are born, is the water born? When the waves die, is the water dying? Therefore, from the water's point of view, ocean is a conditioned expression because of the potentiality called as the Maya or the Shakti, and the same water with another aspect of the same potentiality, Shakti, Maya, is called as the wave. Therefore, the one water alone is being referred because of this conditioning as ocean and wave. In the same manner, one Paramatma, because of his own potentiality, he expresses as names and forms. So Paramatma plus names and forms is called as the world. See? Gold plus name and form is called as the ornament. When we try to please somebody by whatever they have put on, see, these ladies have put so many things that if you don't appreciate, they feel neglected. So when they are putting on a necklace, so do we say, "Acha gold rakha hai"? No, acha necklace. Necklace means that which is without neck. There may be something like a headless without head. So when we are talking about the ornaments, not about the gold. See, because importance is given to name and form. So as ornaments are gold plus name and form, similarly the world is Paramatma plus name and form. And if you look into the world, what everybody is trying to do is preserving these two things, name and form. So while even they are alive, they want to make their statues, form, everywhere. And while they are alive, they want to have their name everywhere. See? But after I die, and they never mind, have made so many statues so that I will remain as a form. Then name, I will remain as a name. See? But when he who has come to discover the ocean, the gold, he will not bother whether it is the Rama statue or the Ravana statue. His attention is on the gold. Rama, Ravana, you take away. Gold you give me. That's all. So what is the world? The world is nothing but Paramatma plus names and forms. And what is creating the differences? Names and forms. See? We are here many. Do you know why? Because we all have forms. And who is supporting the form? The space. Are the spaces many? The forms are many, the formless is one. The names are many. See? Rama, Krishna, Govinda, Madhava, Panduranga, Pundarika, so many names. But the silence? Silence is. Therefore, name and form, they are illusions, and the substratum, because all of them are only existing. Form exists, name exists. When the name and the form goes away, existence continues. Because Satyam is that which can never be negated. In this manner, this Maya Shakti creates an illusion of the objectivity, and this is how the world is created. So, he becomes Ishvara. Paramatma plus Maya Shakti becomes Ishvara. Now, in this Paramatma, next step, be attentive. In this Paramatma, other than the Paramatma, there is nothing. Like in the water, other than the water, there is nothing. So, that potentiality of the water, it will act on whom? Can we say that there was an ocean of fish? No. Ocean is only of water, because that potentiality is affecting water, and potentiality cannot affect the water. Therefore, an illusion called as ocean is born. In the same manner, out of nothing, this world comes into existence, and this we say seriously as real, and we forget the substratum. This is the basic difference of understanding according to Vedanta and according to other schools of thought. So this Ishwari Shakti creates Ishvara as the creator of this world by a superimposition of names and forms. Then the same Ishvara becomes the creator because of the conscious aspect. So, from the consciousness aspect point of view, Ishvara is creator like the pot maker. And from the material cause point of view, the Ishvara is the Jagat, the world, like the clay out of which the pot is made. So, for making a clay pot, we require clay and the pot maker. But God doesn't require these two things. He himself is the clay and he himself is the pot maker. Don't we do the same thing in our dream? Don't we create the Panchamahavati Srishti? Don't we create ourselves again? And there we become somebody and start suffering or enjoying. Next time you dream and you come out of the dream, try to find out whether your dream was black and white or colored. So, this is how one Paramatma, because of his Maya Shakti, he is called as Ishvara. And the same Paramatma, Upadhi Dvayakalpitam, second Upadhi is the Panchakoshas. So, with the conditioning of the Panchakoshas, he is called as the Jiva. And the same Paramatma, with the conditioning of the name and form, Paramatma is called as Jagat. And the same Paramatma, with the conditioning of the creator aspect, he is called as Ishvara. Thus, on one reality, Jiva Jagat Ishvara, these are Aupadhika. These are only superimposed because of the three conditions. See, friends, there cannot be anything more So Shakti Raishwari Kachit Sarva Vastu Niyamika Anandamaya Marabhya Gudha Sarveshu Vastushu. So yeah, this is the divine potentiality, power of the Lord, which is Sarva Vastu Niyamika. Now this Maya, how does it work? It works by controlling everything in a particular disciplined manner. Like the specific gravity of water will remain the same. The metals will have the same kind of properties. The sugar will be sweet. So all these qualities of the objects are maintained and controlled by this divine potentiality. And similarly, the same divine potentiality is also creating the Panchakoshas, the 5 koshas, what we have studied, and then Anandamaya Marabhya, starting from the Anandamaya Kosha, and then it is as if hidden behind the total world of Jiva Jagat Ishvara. Now this hiding is like what? Get this point, it's a very subtle point. If I say the ocean is hidden behind the waves, and if I say the water is hidden behind the ocean, and if you can understand this, then you understand this statement that Paramatma is hidden behind the names and forms. Paramatma is hidden behind the Panchakoshas. Paramatma is hidden behind some principle called as God, who is the creator of this world. And these 3 entities, Jiva, Jagat, Ishvara, they are merely superimposed on this one reality. So till such time we consider ourselves to be Panchakoshas, then the world is real and God is real. See, in Tattvamasi Mahavakya, this is the principle wherein we are told Tvam Padashodhanam Tat Padashodhanam. Tvam Padashodhanam means purification of your Panchakoshas. So you start discarding one by one. Annamaya, Koshaya cannot be Pranamaya, Manomaya, Vijnanamaya, Anandamaya. When Panchakoshas are rejected, we have come to a state of absolute immaculate purity called as Parabrahma Parama. This is Tvam Padashodhanam. Tat Padashodhanam, what is that God principle? In that God principle, we cannot remove somebody else's clothes. We can remove our clothes. So we can do nothing with the Maya of Ishvara. Then, Daivi, Hesha, Gudamai, Mama Maya, Duviktaya, Mami Vai, Prapadyante, Maya Vetam Tarandite. So we surrender at the divine will and deal with the whole world as a devotee would. So, the Tat Padashodhanam is living the principle of devotion, and Tvam Padashodhanam is living the principle of Vedanta. When these two things are perfected, like the cathode and the anode, when they come together, a bulb is put, light comes out. That light of understanding is called as God realization. Therefore, here the teacher says, Shakti Aishwari Kachit Sarva Vastu Niyamika Anandamaya Marabhya Gudha Sarveshu Vastushu. So in all the things, the substratum is as if hidden. It is not hidden, as if hidden. Like, is the water hidden behind the waves and the ocean? No. But then why do we call ocean and the waves? Because we have got a long tongue. See, we are looking at the Paramatma, but we call it as a Jagat world. We are looking at the Paramatma, we call it as a Jiva. So where is the problem? Problem is in our perception. बुरी नजर वाले अपने नजर में ठीक करा रहे. See, what is the difference between the ordinary person and extraordinary person? Ordinary person has to struggle to love somebody. Extraordinary person, he doesn't love somebody as a verb, as an object, but love is natural to him. Like the fragrance is natural to, today they are real. The fragrance is natural to the flowers. In the same manner, love is natural for the wise people because they are no more living at the periphery of their personality, but they have caught the core. And from that standpoint, as a mother looks at her child, the wise man looks at this world. See? A mother does not do love to the child. The mother has love for the child. Next time you see any mother and child, don't look at the child, look at the mother's eyes. See, whatever may be the child, when the mother is looking at the husband and looking at the mother-in-law, that time you look at her eyes. And suddenly the baby comes. See? Everything changes. Because in the husband and in the mother-in-law, devils are there. But in my child, so what is that divinity? Child is nothing but the extension of the mother. For the wise man, this world and all the things and beings, they are nothing but the extension of his own being. See? Therefore, friends, unless we go beyond these conditionings, we will be lost only under the disguise of spirituality. Vastu dharma niyamyeram shaktya neva yada tada anyonya dharma sankarya viplave jagat kalu. If this divine power, Shakti, is not niyamyeran, if it is not controlling all the attributes and qualities of the various worldly objects, then this world will be a terrible chaos. See? One day, today, the law of gravity operates 32 feet per second. Any object you drop becomes on Monday. On Tuesday, it is 64 feet. You cannot fly any aeroplane. Because every day the law is different. See, friends, one day the fire is hot, next day it is cold, water is hot. कल तो ठंडा था. One day the sugar is sweet and salt is salty. Next day the salt becomes sweet and sugar becomes salty. What a fun it will be. Okay. You sleep as a doctor, next day you get up as an engineer. क्या हो गया? मेरा स्कूल रहा. Leave the stethoscope and become an engineer. So all the qualities of all the things and beings, they are controlled from within by this divine power. So vastu dharmaniyam meran shaktya naiva yada tada anyonya dharma sankarya. What will happen? There will be admixture of the qualities of the things and beings and jagat viplave. There will be a terrible chaos in this world. World is not a chaos, it is a cosmos. Everything is methodically controlled and happening perfectly. Therefore, how this Shakti is controlling the world? First, by controlling the things from within. Now, what about the living beings? Chichaya Veshata Shakti Chetaneva Vibhatisa Tat Shakti Upadhi Sanyoga Brahma Eva Ishvaratam Praje. Chichaya Veshataha Shakti. See, if you take a bucket of water and in that bucket there is water and there is a beam of rather the disk of sun has reflected in that bucket of water. So let us analyze this phenomena. Bucket is seen in the general light of the sun. The water in the bucket is also seen in the general light of the sun. And where the disk of the sun is reflected in the form of a disk of the reflection in the water, from there another beam of light is coming out. So there are two things. In the same manner, this beam of reflected disk will not be on the bucket, will not be on all parts of water but a particular point. In the same manner, we may attentive. In the inert world, Paramatma reflects as mere existence. The same Paramatma exists as existence plus life in the plant kingdom. The same Paramatma expresses and reflects as the existence, life and knowledge in the animal kingdom. And then we come to the fourth. The same Paramatma expresses as existence, life, knowledge and bliss in the human beings. Now why there is so much of difference? Is the Paramatma in the inert world inert Paramatma? Is the Paramatma in the plant kingdom is a living Paramatma? Is the Paramatma in the animal kingdom is a knowledgeable Paramatma? And is the Paramatma reflected in the human being? He is a happy Paramatma? Think. The differences in the expressions are on account of the conditionings and not what is expressing. Like the electrical energy expressing through the bulb as light, through the fan as a movement. But do we mean that there are two different types of electricities? Then why there are differences? On account of the conditionings. Exactly the same way. Paramatma with the conditioning of the total Maya is called as Ishvara. And the same Paramatma with the conditioning called as the Panchakoshas is called as the Jiva. Now, in case of our being, we have seen there is gross existence called as the gross body, the dynamic existence called as the Pranamaya Kosha, knowledgeable existence called as the Manomaya Kosha, and then the I factor, like you have got the max factor, this is the I factor consciousness, Vijnanamaya Kosha, and Anandamaya is the ultimate. So, in the bucket or on the stones, there is no reflection of the sun. It is only in the waters. In the same manner, the Jiva Bhava comes only when or that place where Paramatma is reflected as a reflection. Then Chetanata Iva, then it is imagined that as if it has become enlivened. See friends, life is nothing but consciousness reflected in the mind as a Chidabhasa. Thereby there is an illusion as if the life is alive, the person is alive and other person is dead. But in both dead and the live person, Paramatma is equally present. Paramatma never leaves. Then what is that which makes a difference between living and a dead person? It is this ability of the instrument called as the body, which is able to express the consciousness as life, and it is not able to express consciousness as life. This ability makes the difference. Otherwise, Paramatma is everywhere. See? If we recognize this principle, will we ever bother about life and death? When a bulb becomes fused, is it a loss to the electricity? Is it that in other bulbs there is no light? So when a candle burns, nothing is lost. When a bulb becomes fused, nothing has happened. Because the light is not creation, it is a manifestation. In the same manner, if I die here, nothing will happen to Paramatma or to you all. See, friends, therefore, Chichaya Veshataha, when the consciousness is reflected as the Chidabhasa, then alone the Paramatma is called as Ishvara. And when the same consciousness is reflected in the Vijnanamaya Kosha, the same Paramatma is called as the Jiva. Now take your political example, easier to understand. For becoming a Prime Minister, you have to be the citizen of the country. See? Now who is the Prime Minister? Prime Minister is the one who is wielding the power of all the votes. When he was not a Prime Minister, how many votes were at his disposal? Only one. But when he becomes a Prime Minister, he is now wielding not one, but the total country's votes. And therefore, his signature will have that much value. See, you take other Prime Ministers, like those who are gone, Devgowda. If he goes and signs somewhere in the United Nations, will it be valid? Because he is no more wielding the totality. In the same manner, the Jiva and the Ishvara. Ishvara is the totality and Jiva is the individuality. But the principle is the same. Principle is not different. We are simultaneously Ishvara and Jiva. When we are under the influence of the Panchakoshas, we are Jiva. When we control the Panchakoshas, then from the same person, out of an ordinary person, a Mahatma is born. Because we are now under the influence of this Prakriti or the Maya, and Mahatmas, they have complete control over the Prakriti, therefore whatever they say, it happens. Therefore, friends, the real spiritual practice is rising above the limitations of these Panchakoshas. It is for this purpose we are studying this. Oh, I thought I had to go and teach my daughter. Save poor girl, don't do that. Otherwise we get lost only in talking about and never come to realize. So tat shakti upadhi sanyogat brahma vrajet ishvaratam. Similarly, this with the koshas, it is the same Brahman is called as the Jiva. Therefore, the teacher says, Koshopani Vakshayam Yati Brahmaiva Jivatam. Now, the same Brahman, same reality, when Koshopani, now the conditioning is only one vote, so you are a Jiva. The conditioning is all the votes, you are a Prime Minister. Now see, so what is the difference? Prime Minister is wielding the total power of the nation, and the Jiva, he is only suffering the limitations of the individuality. Actually, all the voters, they create the Prime Minister, and after having created him, he tortures all the voters. This is how the samsara is. So, Kosha Upadhi Vivakshaya, when we thus act, work on these Panchakoshas. How do we work on the Panchakoshas? We have already seen. Arise about the Annamaya Kosha, meaning worldly things and beings should not become an obsession for us. We are transcended Annamaya Kosha. Second thing, hunger and thirst should not become an issue of life. We have transcended Pranamaya Kosha. See? Then the joy and sorrows should not become the cause of our disturbances. Then we have transcended the Manomaya Kosha. Then the virus of ego should not operate through us. Then we have transcended Vijnanamaya Kosha. And the last, only because in the deep sleep there is happiness, therefore I keep on sleeping. No, you cannot sleep all the time even if you are a Kumbhakar. So the happiness of the deep sleep is ekadeshiya, it is temporary, it cannot be Paramatma. Therefore we go beyond that. And when thus we are able to transcend the Panchakoshas, then we come to recognize that which is supporting all of them is never negated, even there are changes in those Panchakoshas. So, Koshopadin Rukshayam Yati Brahmaiva Jivatam. So, when this Brahman is referred with reference to the Panchakoshas, it is called as the Jiva. Like when the man is referred with reference to the wife, he is called as husband. Therefore, Jiva, Ishvara, Jagat, all these three are nothing but the same reality expressing through the limitations of the three conditioning called as the names and the forms, then the Panchakoshas and the Maya. Example is given, Pita Mahaschaikaha Putra Pautro Yatha Prati. Like Ekaha, one person alone, with reference to his grandfather, he is called as the grandson. With reference to his father, he is called as the son. With reference to his son, he is called as the father. So has he ever become three? So because of the conditioning, only one is referred in many ways. And we give undue importance to the conditioning. Therefore, unless we start deconditioning ourselves with reference to our Panchakoshas, we will not be able to look upon the world beyond the Panchakoshas. See? Like today in our country, we are never looking towards each other as Indians. We are looking at Gujarati, Bengali, then Tamil Nadu or Karnataka, and then the fighting begins. See, the other day I received a very good SMS. All the politicians divide us, and all the terrorists unite us. So let us invite terrorists so that we remain united. How do we do this? And where from the politicians learned this? The legacy of the Britishers. Our politicians have nothing original of their own. Because Britishers ruled the whole world only by divide and rule policy. Here also the same thing they are doing. Otherwise, who will give them vote? Therefore, friends, unless we recognize our divinity, we will never be able to perceive the divinity in the world. So these two things have to go simultaneously. Let us discover divinity as our being, and let us start suspecting divinity in everyone. Like we suspect only bad things in others. Do you know that person? I don't know, but maybe a thief. Where from the thief has come? Practice. Can't we see divinity in everyone? See? And this happened in some place, in somebody's shop I was sitting. Swami, please sit in that cash counter. Okay. I said, open it. And I took out the money. I said, now I will distribute to the people. Swami, you are always joking. I said, now I am serious. And then I said, anyway, who's your house first? I will give him 100 rupees. And my friend, his name is Junjunwala. I could see, his BPA up and down. But I really enjoyed it. Life is a fun. And then one person came with a, the typical Deshabhakta dress, with the Khaddar ka pajama and Shabnam bag, like that. He said, now this fellow is coming, he is coming for donation. I can see the people from a distance and tell, they have nothing else, go and collect money. I don't know. And the man came and he asked, is this the shop of Mr. What was his name? Some Bihari. Shantanu Bihari, Junjunwala? Yes. Your friend is there in Calcutta? Yes. So please contact him. This is his phone number. He gave me. For what? First contact him. Give me his speaks. Is this the person to whom you asked me to give this draft of 25 lakhs? I talked to him, he spoke. Kya hai? Sab ho gaya. Give it to me. Is this the same person? Yes. Shall I give it to him? Yes, give it to him. He gave the draft 25 lakhs. So, thing is done, okay, thank you. And then, where he was going, no, please sit down, I have a cup of tea. He said, no, I am in a hurry. So when he went, it was my turn. Why did you suspect that anybody who comes to you is only asking money? This is how our mind is always conditioned. And the conditioning of the mind can be removed only if we start living 100% in the present. But earlier experiences cloud our present performance. And that is why, although the God Himself is in front of us, we don't see Him. One story I have read rather in some book, very beautiful story. There was one Sethji, and he had taken a vow that he will not take food unless he feeds somebody. So every day he will wait, somebody comes and he gives him food and gives dakshina, and then he will take food. It so happened one day nobody came, so Sethji is hungry. Second day nobody came, Sethji is hungry. Third day he said, oh God, please send somebody or else I will die. Please send somebody. Third day one person comes. Vikshamdi, again. And food was given to him. And he was just going to eat. He said, hey, don't you offer it to the God? He said, no. Don't you pray to the God? He said, no. Then you can't take the food. Take it away, who cares? And he walked away. Again, Sethji Dukha, without food. Then I said, oh Lord, you sent one fellow, but such a rascal, he did not even pray you. He said, how can I pray myself? I was the one who came to you. See, friends, our vision is so clouded. Even if the God comes in front of us, we'll ask him, do you have a visiting card? Because management means this only, nothing else. Friends, Pita Maschayaka Putra Putrau Yathapati. Therefore, as one person appears to have become many because of the conditioning, in the same manner, one Paramatma, because of the conditioning of names and the form, is called as Jagat. Because the conditioning of the Maya Shakti is called as the Ishvara, the Creator. And because of the conditioning of the Panchakoshas, is called as the Jiva. So the one is referred in three ways. But our attention is only on the non-essentials and we miss the essential. Putradir vivakshayam na pita maha tadvandesho napi jivaha shakti kosha vivakshane. See? Like putradehe avivakshayam. If we do not bring the reference of the son or the grandson, the person is neither the father nor the grandfather. In the same manner, when we do not give importance and transcend the Panchakoshas, if I am not the Jiva, there cannot be Aishvara. See, they are mutually dependent. Like these three parts of this tripod. You take care of one, other two will be taken care of. If I no more live as a Jiva, there is neither the Jagat nor the Ishvara. Therefore, all the spiritual practices, nothing to do with the world, nothing to do with the Ishvara. All that we have to do is transcend and go beyond the Panchakoshas. Unless this is practiced consciously, we are walking the spiritual path is our own illusion. See, friends. You know, there used to be one great person, Nanaji Deshmukh. He was living in Chitrakoot. First of all, he did some social service, and then he was in politics and all that, and then he was disillusioned. And there he went, and whatever little was, and just after I met, next day only he died. Not because I made him. Or else you say, Swamiji, don't come to our house. So when I met him, he was absolutely at peace. Nothing to talk. And not, although he was ill, but absolutely at peace. Eyes were so deep, relaxed. So all other people went out, I was sitting with him. No problem. I said, Mahatma ji, Bhagwan Ram kya kehte hain? He gave a very small smile, even in that unhealthy condition. See, a smile on our face can come only if we have discovered fulfillment in life. Fulfillment in life can come only if we allow Purnamadaha Purnamidam to manifest through us. When the infinite expresses through us, the ordinary person is called as a Mahatma. Other things remain the same. Earlier, the ego was expressing. Now, when this I disappeared, the Paramatma takes over. Like in Lucknow, there is one big building called as Bulbulaiya. That was a building of a Nawab. So when the Nawab have gone to Pakistan, that building is occupied by government. In the same manner, when I goes away, Paramatma takes over. See, friends. So let us allow him to express through us. So, Tattvat Nesho Nati Jivaha Shakti Kosha Vivakshane. In this manner, the spiritual practice, therefore, let us summarize with reference to ourselves. We have to rise above Panchakoshas by two techniques. One, the technique of yoga, by which you transcend the cross-body identification, and the technique of Vedanta, by which you transcend the notion of Jiva. In the world, the spiritual practice is love, devotion, service, sincerity, purity. See? When this Vedanta with ourselves and devotion with the world, when these two things are properly balanced and lived in one's life, then alone we are walking the spiritual path, or else we are only cheating ourselves. Ya evam brahma vedesha brahmaiva bhavati swayam brahmano nasti janmata punareshana jayate. Yaha evam brahma veda. In this manner, he who comes to realize that he is none other than the absolute non-dual reality, only recognition, Veda. See, friends, all that is gained through knowledge is never created. See, is created is subject to loss. See, I open my eyes, the knowledge you are all sitting here. So I have not created you. You are already existing, that only I have seen. Therefore, knowledge never creates anything. Whatever is revealed. See, friends. And that is what is called as scientific discovery. It was covered by the veil of ignorance, it is only removed, that's all. In the same manner, we are covered by these wrong notions about ourselves, Panchakoshas, about the world, Nama Rupa, about the God, He is far away, Parokshata. When these three things are rejected, then we are recognized, Ya Evam Veda Brahmaisha, then Brahmaiva Bhavati Swayam. Be very attentive. In the worldly objects, worldly knowledge, knowing is not being. When I know this is the fool, I don't become a fool. See, but knowing Brahman cannot be remaining apart from Brahman, because the Sat and the Chit, existence and knowledge, they are not two. So where knowing is Brahman, therefore Brahmaiva Bhavati Swayam. So knower of the Brahman, he does not become Brahman. Knower of the Brahman is Brahman. See? And further, Brahmano Nasti Janma. And this Brahman is beyond birth and death. And therefore, Punareshana Jayate. Therefore, such a master is never born again. Now see the difference between Vedanta and other paths. In other paths, they will be always talking about last life, this life, next life. See? Get out of this catch. How long are we going to be in KG1? We have to graduate and move further. No, but I like KG1 very much. But why? That miss I like. Everyone says, I don't want to go to the next class. I want to continue in this only. You cannot. In the same manner, okay, you have done karma, very good. You have done social service, extremely good. And then you have taken care of your family. You only created problems, so you are not obliged anybody. Very good. But how long this? Only remaining goody-goody cannot be the fulfillment in life. You have to discover your truth. See? And that is why then only we will be able to merge in the absolute. Brahmano nasti janmataham punareshana jayate. In this manner, we have to go through this spiritual practice with this kind of understanding.